entertain!
What's up, y'all? I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. Thanks for coming back for yet another week. So today I've got basically two kind of things we're going to be talking about here today in the lawn. I'll put timestamps below for those of you that like that kind of thing. But the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you some of the discoveries I've made recently in changing my string trimmer habits. And the second thing I'm going to do is test some hose-in sprayers, including the custom modifications made by John Perry personally to the Ortho dial-in spray. But before I do that, I just want to remind you guys, in case you're new here, I do have full lawn plans. If you click the link in the description below for cool season or warm season grass. Cool season grass, Kentucky bluegrass, perennial rye, turf type tall fescue, that's for you. Or warm season grass, which is going to be St. Augustine grass, Bermuda, zoysia, centipede, and bahia. If you have one of those grass types, I've got a full-on lawn plan for you, and the fall is a great time to start. It's well over 100 pages, step by step, of everything to do, what to throw down, when to throw it down, and why to throw it down, as well as recommendations on products you can get and training on how to go to the store and pick up those products and confidently know what you're throwing down. Now, in addition to those books, this fall here, actually the very beginning of August, I'm going to be coming out with supplements. Basically what it is I've gotten a lot of feedback this year on the new version of the book. The first version of the book was about 30 pages, the second is well over 100, and now there's a lot of questions that have come in based on that. And so what I'm going to do is add some additional plans, additional strategies for fall for both cool season and warm season lawns. That way you guys have a little bit more choice about what you might want to do. Now, if you've already gotten one of the guides previously, these updates are all free to you, and that's one of the things when you get one of my guides, you only have to buy it one time, and all of the updates, all of the upgrades, all the supplements that come after that are always free. But one thing to consider, if you're somebody that's been waiting to get the guide, as of August 1st, I'm going to have to take the price up to $34.95. It's been $25 now for over 2 years, but it's time to go ahead and upgrade it because I'm upgrading the content that's in those guides, because there's a lot more there, and because I'm putting a lot more support on the back end in place. We're going to have to go ahead and raise the price to $34.95. But you're seeing this video here. If you're interested in that guide, if you think it's something that could help you, you can still pick it up for 25 bucks. Click the link in the description below. Now, for the weed whacking stuff, I've always, walked front ways. I trained myself to walk forward when I weed whack. It's just easier. Now I have these curbs around my house here, and it's really easy to weed whack around those, and I like to get it done quick. I don't want to waste any time, so I go forward, I walk straight, and I nail it, and I get it done. However, I've had a few lawn pros comment over the last few months and say, hey, Alan, when you're walking forward like that, you're actually throwing all of the clippings into your bed. And that's not anything I ever thought about. I'm a DIYer. If I'm willing to accept clippings in my rocks and in my beds, I guess I am. But as a professional, they're right. They can't do that. They need to keep things as clean as possible. And so that got me to thinking about walking forward or backward. And then another thing that came up is Ryan Knorr did a video not long ago. I've linked to that before. I'll link it in the description below, where he's weed whacking along fence lines. And he makes the point, hey, there's a clockwise or a counterclockwise turn based on battery powered, gas powered, or curved shaft, straight. I never even knew that. I just assumed there was a standard and they all spun the same way, but that is not the case. So with that, it got me to thinking a little bit, and I decided to go ahead and test a couple things, and I've now learned how to walk backwards. But I just wanted to kind of show you some of the results I got in case this is something you didn't know about either. Maybe you'll want to change and start walking backwards as well.
Please note the key to success in the following strategy is the spinny direction of the head. In this case, our head is spinning counterclockwise.
So the first thing to note here is that you don't see any clippings right off, and this was weed whacked just 5 days before, which shows you that they do break down pretty quickly. Needless to say, you can see when I'm walking forward that clippings are being thrown directly into the beds at quite a high rate. Here's what it looked like after. Next, I'm going to go over to the other side of this bed and go backwards, and we'll make a comparison. But I still wasn't convinced, so I went to yet the other side of the bed and walked backwards one more time, and then compared those clippings in the bed to the original clippings where I walked forward. I'll let you make the decision whether it's worth it or not, but for sure when you walk backwards, fewer clippings do get thrown into the beds, and I've gone ahead and adopted this as my normal style now. I thought it was going to be difficult to learn to walk backwards, but I can go almost just as fast backwards as I can forwards, and it only took me a couple times around the yard, and now I'm fully comfortable, once again. But one thing I can say is it certainly is nice to finish the day off with nice, clean, tidy beds. So there you go. You guys let me know how you decide to weed whack. You walk forward, backwards, you know, twirl around your head. What do you do? But again, that's something I learned, and I figured if I didn't know it after all these years of doing this kind of thing, that maybe that might benefit some of you all as well. Okay, now it's time to do some spraying and praying. It's actually time for me to do quite a few applications around here. The first one is RGS. The entire lawn needs an app of RGS, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that and film some of that. And I'm gonna go ahead and test just the Ortho Dial-In Spray. Now I have the John Perry mod. In case you didn't see what the Ortho Dial-In Spray John Perry mod is, let me go ahead and just play that clip. It's from a video a couple weeks ago.
This is a brand new Ortho sprayer. There's a couple of things that I do to modify this. This weight slides, obviously, to hold the straw down to the end. I always cut this off, so this is just gone. And then I'll put like a rubber band. Oh, this is nice. So then this would get like a rubber band or something, because we want to hold that back up, which I don't have here handy. So say we tie that there, this now holds. Okay. So now we got better flow. If you see your thing clogging, there's a little diaphragm right inside here, and this is flexible. See that? It just kind of pulls down. If you give this thing a little yank, boop, it'll clear the line. That's all.
Does it make that sound? Boop, boop.
Yep. Did you hear it? Ready? Boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. No, but that's usually where you get stuff stuck, is in this little spring-loaded area, because
I never even knew that.
So what you can do to test it is, before you stick everything back in here, have your hose on, get a couple kicks, and just put your finger right here, and you'll hear it, and you'll also feel it. It'll stick to your finger. It's pulling material, so you can just like that, and you're good to go. So that's the mods to make this thing flow without any other trouble. So if you are getting jamming, it's always right there, and that's flexible.
That was worth your trip.
So one of the things that many of us have had a challenge with is, especially with the 002 MicroGreene, that it can sometimes have trouble flowing through the Ortho Dial-In Spray. And people have talked about, you know, cutting the filter off. I've circumcised the filter, all these kind of things. But when John did it, he literally removes the entire head, so all that's left is just the shaft of the straw, and then he uses a rubber band to hold the weight at the bottom. So it's some super hardcore mods, and I wanted to go ahead and see what that does. Now, in addition to the mods, he also showed us the boop boop, and I want to go ahead and try that out too. But before I do any boop boop with the 002 MicroGreene, I figured what I would do is throw some RGS through it, just to, you know, kind of get things flowing, get things moving, make sure it works just okay without that. And then I'll go ahead and do some 002 right on the back of that. So with that, let's go ahead and use the Ortho with the John Perry mod. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply the RGS here. Now, one of the things to consider is we don't want you to apply this over 3 ounces per thousand when daytime temps are over 85. That's because you can get a little bit of tip burn, but that's fine. You really don't need more than 3 ounces per thousand with this product. And a lot of people will ask me, Alan, do you have a product with sea kelp in it? For some reason, that question's been coming up, and this is the one. Now, the labels may have changed because we're getting these put into different states and all that, and so the way you claim things on the label can change the way that the state looks at it, and this and this and that. But I can tell you that RGS is the product that has sea kelp. This is an older one, and you can see here 6% humic acid, 3% fulvic acid, 3% kelp. But the way you really know that it's in there is you look for this word, Ascophyllum nodosum, right? And I can't pronounce it, but Ascophyllum nodosum. That is the sea kelp. So that's how you know. One of the things you can also look at, and again, see, this is a newer bottle of MicroGreene, so it's not claimed on the label. However, it is claimed in an ingredient right here, Ascophyllum nodosum, and I guess that's how you say it, Ascophyllum nodosum. But that's how you know sea kelp. So most of John Perry's products that have fertilizer, especially 002 MicroGreene, 402 FloraGreen, and 1801 Green Punch, all are juiced with the sea kelp. And again, what you're looking for on the label is Ascophyllum nodosum. However, if you just want a sea kelp, humic, and fulvic product, then RGS is what you want. And this is really the workhorse of the line. It's the base layer to the line of everything else we do. And this also has the sea kelp. Like I said, this is an older bottle, so it is claimed on here. But just know that RGS is humic, fulvic, and sea kelp. And this is what I'm going to put down today, just at a nice, easy 3 ounces per thousand. So now the area that I'm treating here is my Empire Zoysia Section 4, and that's 2,500 square feet. If I'm going with 3 ounces per thousand, and again, how do I know what my mix rates are? It's just right here. Apply a minimum of 3 ounces per thousand and a maximum rate of 6 ounces per thousand. So we're going to stay that minimum rate again because of right here, over 85 degrees. And again, that's pretty much all you need, because the job of this product is to stimulate shoots and roots, but it's not going to push an overabundance of growth, which could stress the turf out. So if I've got 2,500 square feet That means I need 7.5 ounces of RGS. So that'll be a nice easy spray here. Nice easy little test for the boo boop. Now another thing I'm going to do, and now if you're not experienced with this, then don't do it, but what else I'm going to do is I've got a whole bunch of palms all the way up through the side here, and they can also benefit from some RGS. So I'm going to go ahead and just top this thing off all the way up with RGS, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the base of all my palms on this side, and I'll do the same thing on the other side as well. Again, if you're not experienced with flow rates and all that on this, then don't do that. You can do everything separate. I'm okay. I'm going to go ahead and spray and pray. As you know, the main reason I'm doing this for this video is we want to test out the John Perry mods. So that's really what we're doing. So I'm going to do that by giving it a good test of full 32 ounces of RGS for lawn and trees and shrubs. Okay, so to save you guys time, here's what I'll tell you. This thing sprayed perfectly, not just the RGS, but I put full strength MicroGreene in, 32 ounces, 0 watered down, and it sprayed flawlessly. I've also talked to a few people on Facebook that have said the same thing. What we were doing previously was just taking the screen out, but what John does is he completely cuts the tip off and has only the straw weighted down, and MicroGreene flows flawlessly. And I don't know why it's taken me so long to figure this out. I mean, for 2 years, John Perry's been saying to cut the tip off. And in fact, when you get to know him, he hates filters. He is totally against filters. John Perry has never met a filter that he hasn't cut off. And I don't know why I never got that until now. But I finally have gotten it, and it's changed the way I look at spraying and praying. So if you've had trouble spraying MicroGreene, 18-to-1 and Green Punch, or any other product from the Ortho hose-in sprayer, you gotta cut the head off completely, and you should flow good. Then you got the boo boop as the backup if things do get stalled in the middle. The next one is this $80 Blue Mule. Now, to be fair, this sprayer is not made for lawns. They make this for other industrial kind of work, I think like foams and things like that. But a few guys have told me I should try it for lawns, and so I did. If you guys want me to do a further in-depth review on this sprayer, I can, but I will tell you it is just way overbuilt for what we need, and $80 is way too expensive. Yes, it sprays, even though I don't really like the spray pattern, and I don't like how the handle jiggles from the unit like this, but again, it's not really made for lawns. So in my opinion, it's not worth the $80 to get this one to spray any lawn products. The third one I tested was the Chapin. I've used this last week spraying Humic 12 and it did just fine, but I'll also say I don't like how this one swings from the unit to the handle. But I could not get it to spray 002 MicroGreene at all. Whether I removed the screen or not, it would not spray 002 MicroGreene at all. I couldn't get it to suck hard enough. So with this Chapin model here, I'm also saying no go. At the end of the day, I'm going to keep finding more ways to spray and pray, but for right now, I recommend you try the really cheap and easy John Perry mods for your Ortho dial-in spray. With that, I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. I sure hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you have, please leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell, and I'll see you in the lawn.